Hey, what's going on, guys? I got a question from someone today that I want to go over, and it's going to lead to a larger issue that I think everybody can relate to here. So, this question's from Tracy, and she said, I started working out and doing squats with weights, and like 2 to 3 inches beneath my left knee started hurting bad. I'm 53 and was inactive for many years before this, but I'm 3 months in and making some changes to this body, which I'm proud of. I don't want to stop now. This is how Italians do YouTube videos. Whatever. That's a horrible meme. Anyways, so Tracy just started squatting after a huge period of inactivity, and she is getting knee pain now. And she was making progress. She's losing weight. She's getting her body to where she wants it to be. And all of a sudden this pain comes in and it's throwing a wrench in her game. Now, this is a lesson for everyone, all right? One of the things that can seriously screw us over, a lot of times it's not going to be that traumatic injury, when your knee gives out, or where you have an active event that busts open a joint or something like that ends your time lifting, or that'll ruin your workouts for a long period of time. A lot of times it's chronic pain that builds up over a long period of time until it gets so bad that you can't move anymore. So there's a few things we need to work on here. Now, first things first, a lot of us pay attention to getting into the gym, jumping into the workout, and just dominating and trying to advance ourselves as much as possible, which is awesome. Congratulations for getting in the gym. Congratulations for making a positive improvement on your life. But if we're going to expect ourselves to undergo this stress that we're putting on ourselves, through weight training, through conditioning, through athletics, then we need to prepare our bodies to endure that stress. So what I'm talking about first here is mobility. Mobility is probably the most important aspect of strength outside of actually training strength. If you do not have mobility, then you are not going to be able to do the movements in a proficient manner that's going to add to your strength. And the reason for that is because there's going to be different pathologies or irregularities in your movement patterns that are going to keep you from doing the movement properly, and that are going to keep you from getting strong in the way that you need to actually get something from the exercise. So the squat itself is a very complicated movement. It requires mobility from a lot of different joints, from your ankles up to your knees, up to your hips, to your spine, your back, your shoulders even, and your chest even. You need mobility in all of these areas. So while a lot of us would really just focus on the knee, it's really required for you to be proficient at this movement that you actually work on mobility throughout your body, because it is a total body movement. Now, I'm no expert in mobility. I don't want to try to pretend to be. But if you go over to the Mobility WOD channel, or if you get the book, Becoming the Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett, there is a plethora of exercises that you can do to induce total body mobility. And Kelly Starrett is a genius at this, and I'm not going to try and even imitate him at telling you something that you can do for your specific problem. That being said, there are a few different warm-up exercises that you can do in order to get your knee ready for the exercise itself. I like doing terminal knee extensions. That's where you put your foot flat on the ground and you stick a band around the back of your knee, and then you straighten the knee out about 20 to 30 times to mobilize not only your knee, the muscles around your knee, but also your entire leg, in order to create the support for your joint and mobilizing those muscles. So I'll put a link below for that particular exercise. I'll also put a link below for Kelly Starrett's channel for those of you who want to check it out. But in addition to that, there's something else that we really need to consider. And this is something that's been building up probably over a lifetime. And it starts really for us back when we're younger, back when we're in our teens and 20s. And that is total body chronic inflammation. And this is why I harp on diet so much. good nutrition is important, not just to get you lean, not just to get you muscular, but also to ensure that your body is working to its optimal potential. And if you are eating a lot of inflammatory foods, then one thing that can happen is chronic inflammation builds up and you start to really feel it after a while. At first, you don't feel chronic inflammation. It's something that's like kind of like a low burn in your body. And it usually starts with gut problems, all right, in your intestinal tract. And I know you're probably saying, well, how does my intestinal tract relate to my joints? It does. And the reason is because your intestinal tract is connected to your brain and it's connected through the rest of your body. So any inflammation in your intestinal tract is going to affect the rest of your body. And if your gut microbiome is not healthy and you don't have a lot of friendly bacteria in your gut and it's overgrown with unfriendly bacteria, then you most certainly can predict that at some point you're going to have aches and pains around your body, along with a host of other issues. Total body chronic inflammation, as I've said before on this channel, can lead to issues like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, right? But beyond that, it can also lead to giving rise to the symptoms of autoimmune disease, right? What I have, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's, and lupus, and a whole host of other types of issues. And for those of you who are active and who want to remain active, fighting total body chronic inflammation is going to be an important part of you staying active, not only in your 20s, not only in your 30s, but to be active in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and your 70s. All right. I don't know about you, but I still want to be hitting the gym if I'm still here when I'm 80 years old. I don't want to be one of these guys who just sits on the couch and reads the newspaper. I want to be active. I still want to be having sex. I still want to be doing all these things that I enjoy about life. And so it's really important that we look after our nutrition. So what can you do to ensure that you're battling chronic inflammation? Well, there's a few different things. One, take care of your gut. Somebody mentioned to me the other day, eating prebiotic foods. These are different types of herbs and green vegetables and things like that you can get into your gut that can actually seed the gut with an environment that's going to lead to you having good gut microflora. You can also take probiotic rich foods like kombucha, raw sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented foods, right? For those of you who can tolerate dairy, there's fermented dairy like yogurt and kefir. There's also non-dairy forms of kefir like coconut kefir that you can take in. All this stuff can actually help you to populate your gut with good, friendly microflora or bacteria that are going to help you and fight off some of those bad bacteria. Beyond that, you can be taking a lot of omega-3 fatty acids into your diet, right? So omega-3 fish oil, for those of you who do not eat animal products or take animal products, there's omega-3s that you can get from algae. If you do eat animal products, if you are eating meat, I would opt for grass-fed beef. I would opt for free-range chicken. I would opt for pastured eggs and pastured butter. And the reason for that is because if an animal is eating something that contains a lot of omega-6 fatty acid, which is highly inflammatory, then you want to really understand that you are also eating what that animal ate. And most of the toxins and most of these things are stored up in our fat cells. So that can create a lot of inflammation for you. Make sure that you're eating your vegetables, staying up on your micronutrients. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water and avoiding dehydration. These are all the basics, but again, I have to repeat these over and over again because it's the basics that are going to keep you in the game. It's the basics that are really going to work for you. All this other complicated stuff that you hear from time to time, those are just details. If your basics are not in order, if you're not getting good nutrition, if you're not working on mobility, and if you're not moving, that's going to be a huge problem. Movement is a big deal as well. And this video is already going to be about 10 minutes long. But one thing I recommend is that you move throughout your day. If you're sitting at a desk for 10, 15, not 10, 15, we're talking about me here. I work a buttload. But if you're sitting at your desk for long periods of time, you want to get up and do a set of squats, do a set of push-ups. Make sure that, maybe keep a kettlebell near your desk and get some kettlebell swings in. These are all things, again, that can help your mobility and your ability to move and your ability to do so without pain for a long period of time. If we stop moving, if we make ourselves sedentary, then we are going to be in a world of pain and hurt. And again, for this particular lady, she just started after a long period of inactivity. So for those of you who are just starting out, one thing I want to say is make sure that you have patience. Do all these things. Make sure that you're incorporating them into your fitness routine, but understand after a long period of inactivity, it's going to take you a while to get back in the saddle again. And aches and pains and bumps and bruises and things like this are going to come up. But the point is that you really need to understand how you can take care of them, and you need to stay in the game. You need to keep going after it, and you need to keep this stuff in your routine. I'm repeating myself now. It's getting late. Time for jiu-jitsu. All right. So sorry for the long video, guys. Sorry if I rambled. If you are interested in more amazing content, check out warriorsoulofgoji.com. I'll link the stuff I mentioned below. And we are releasing Keto Camp. So if you are interested in learning as much as possible about ketosis, other ways that you can leverage your own body's fat stores, definitely check out warriorsoulketocamp.com. I'll put the link for that below too. I'm done plugging myself. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.